Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland. Welcome to Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. Thank you for waiting. Your call is important to us. We love you very, very much. Yeah, just let me bore you to sleep. Hello. 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 Hi. I can't believe it's been fairly quiet and suddenly there's drilling going on again. Damn it. Damn. It's 3:18. I'm just going to do the recording anyway. I've been waiting for some quiet moments, but it's not full on, but it's so random. It's a funny thing that happened yesterday. My neighbour called me. She said, "Have you got some building work going on upstairs?" And I thought, cheeky mare. Complaining about the noise I'm making after all the drilling she's been drilling. Not drilling, but, in the bathroom being done this week. All the drilling they do downstairs. And I said, no. She said, well, there's some weird sound coming from upstairs. I said, well, I might have farted. She said, no, it wasn't that sound. I know that sound. Okay, well, fair enough. It makes me a little bit self-conscious. And I don't know, I've started to think I should stick me bum out the window or something. So anyway, I went downstairs. I thought, well, I'll come down and listen because I can't hear anything up here. So I went down and I was listening, and it was this really weird sound. Very poltergeisty. Why don't you just call poltergeist polterghost? It seems weird that they would use the word geist. Why not ghost? It makes sense. Because it's kind of a ghost, isn't it? Anyway, it wasn't a poltergeist. Sorry if I've spoiled the story. Jumped ahead a little bit there. And she couldn't figure out where it was coming from. It sounded like it was coming from the bathroom, but it also sounded like it was in the wall. It sounded like it might be coming from upstairs. It sounded like it might be coming from the storage room, which is next to the bathroom. So we were kind of searching. It was like a Scooby-Doo search, but without... Well, there's no animated characters, there was no talking dog, and there was no... Well, we didn't have anyone at the end to pull off their face and say, oh, it was him all along. There's none of that stuff. That's my impression. Vinny does look like a kangaroo when he's on all fours. Someone mentioned he looked like a kangaroo, because I did a picture and they said, oh, what you do, you've got a kangaroo there for? It's like, it's not a kangaroo, it's just, it was out of proportion size wise, the image, but it was supposed to be Vinny based upon his picture. Anyway, so I'm downstairs and we're looking and we figure out it's definitely coming from the bathroom, which is in the process of being rebuilt. The only thing in the bathroom at the moment is just the toilet. There's nothing else in there. And I put a new toilet in yesterday. Now, apparently, my neighbour didn't think they were going to be putting a new toilet in. Like a whole new bathroom, but no new toilet. I genuinely thought that. And I thought, that seemed like a weird thing to do. Because if I had a new bathroom, and they were just going to leave the old toilet, I'll tell them not to bother. Can you imagine everything nice and new, and then there's this stain thing in the middle? It's like, no. I mean, that toilet's seen better days. Well, I say better days. I mean, it might argue this might be a good day because I haven't used it much, but what a job. I mean, it's literally the kind of the worstest job outside of, I don't know. I'll move on from that. I think we all know where I'm going with that one, so possibly. Okay, so it's like, it felt to me, and I said to you, sure it's not my toilet? Because when I flushed my toilet, I had some problems and it wasn't flushing and it was weird, but the plumber came, fixed, I say plumber, someone from the council who probably does everything, came along and fixed it. And then someone else came back the next day and fixed it again. And the water fills up really quick. And then it goes, and it's kind of like, once it finished flushing, it's almost like it's burping, like really like, oh, that was lovely. It was that kind of sound. Okay, I don't hear the words, that's lovely. But that's a kind of sound, weird sound. I've figured out a way to stop it from doing that is by turning the I nearly said the wet tap, the cold tap on just a little bit so that it doesn't fill up quite so quickly. And it's loud, and I don't, because in the middle of the night, if I do a wee-wee, I don't flush a toilet. But anything else, I say anything else, there's not that many options, is there? If I decide to make some pancakes, no, but if anything else, I do flush. I'm not a big fan of, I like to try and keep everything. I think it's kind of like at the end of a relationship, isn't it? You just want to move on. It's, just like, let's just separate nicely, and you get on with your life, I'll get on with my life, and that's to me, it's very much like flushing a toilet. It's a nice clean break. See ya. Thanks for everything you did for me, and if we meet again, then we'll try and be on good terms, but hopefully we won't meet again, which is generally what I normally used to think if I ended a relationship, or a relationship came to a natural end, when they become bored of me, or they realise I really was like this. I actually had that once. I remember a girlfriend saying to me, she said, what's happened to you? I said, what do you mean? She said, when we met, you were so full of energy and funny, and now you're not like that. I said, because I'm not one-dimensional. I didn't know about the bipolar back then. I knew I had moods, but hey. This is when I was about 26, and she said, you're not like that anymore. And I'm thinking, yeah, that is a bit much to kind of keep. Can you hear that? It sounds like someone's like knocking on the ceiling downstairs, almost like, can you speak up? I can't hear you. Can you talk a bit louder, please? I don't know why I remembered that. I had one girlfriend, she left me, telling me that my eyebrows were too low. My eyebrows were too close to my eyes. And I thought, okay. So ultimately, she wanted someone that was permanently startled. Someone walking around that was had a permanent look of it, expression of surprise. Like, oh. I tried that, but it ached a little bit. I thought about shaving my eyebrows off and then just painting some on, or getting, well, not caterpillars, but you know what I mean, like, and put them like halfway up my forehead. But then she didn't like that either. So it couldn't have been the eyebrows. I remember once, I didn't ask her to talk about relationship breakups. I'm not going to talk about that. But I remember once. I had a little bit of I don't know. Like, my brain worked. My brain kicked into action, and I got in touch with reality in that moment. So there was this, I don't know when it was, a long time ago. Any female relationship was a long time ago for me. So I'm sitting there, and my girlfriend is dumping me. She's already told me she's dumping me, and she settles down for the evening to tell me all the things wrong I did, and all the reasons why she's dumping me, and all the things I need to change. And at one point, she was crying. And then I woke up. No, I wasn't asleep. I mean, it was boring, but I didn't fall asleep. And I just, like, it just kicked in, like, wait a minute. As my friend used to like to say, what's wrong with this picture? He used to do that when I used to work for him. I used to clean the toilets, and he would he'd walk me into the toilets. What's wrong with this picture? To start with, if I said I don't know, he'd go like, he'd get angry and stuff. So I had to kind of like have something up my sleeve to say. He said, so he'd walked me in there. So one day he's like, what's wrong with this picture? And I was ready. I said, is it the poo on the ceiling? Is it the tampon hanging from the air conditioning? It's like, no, I didn't notice that, but okay, yeah, that as well. I don't know why he didn't sack me. So so I'm sitting there getting lectured about everything that's wrong with me, and trust me, it takes a long time to get through those. I mean, that was back then. Imagine now. That's got a good month, I reckon, if you like talked continuously about all my faults. Oh, bless. And I kind of wait a second. So I was probably an hour into this. Okay, there was a lot more to go. You know, I kind of was thinking, I wish I'd brought a packed lunch. If I knew it was going to go, you know, a little flask of coffee, so I could have a break. And I said, just can I just confirm something? He said, what? Are we going to get back together again? Or is this the end? She said, no, it's the end of the relationship. So I said, okay, right. I just stood up. So I went to, put my coat on, put my trousers back on. And she said, where are you going? I said, I'm going home. She said, but I haven't finished talking. I said, I know, and you probably never will. I was like, it just like, almost like my brain grew up temporarily. I went back down to being immature again. But for that, as you can tell, but for that instant, the mature part of my brain was activated, and I was an adult, and I could see things so clearly. Like, okay, granted, loads of faults. I mean, untold faults. Never, I'll hold my hands up to that. but I don't have to sit and listen to it. You know, it's like I don't have to listen to this character assassination. Send me a letter. This is for the internet. Send me a letter, and we might. No, I didn't even have a mobile phone back then. I don't think. So yeah, it was like really. I think it's the first. It might be the only time that the mature part of my brain was ignited. Thinking about it, I might have used up all those brain cells. Perhaps that's why I've never gone back to that. That's why I've stayed like immature. That's the problem, that as I've got getting older and I start acting weird, I don't think anyone would actually notice. Oh, it's just Jason. It's just Jay being Jay. You know? And, what's that got to do with the toilet downstairs? So I'm downstairs looking for this noise, which is weird to look for a noise. It's like listening for I'm listening for a colour. You know, it's very kind of strange. But that's... See, my ears are pretty good. I mean, they should be, the size of them. And I say pretty good. They're not... It's not that I can hear well, but I've got a good sense of focus in my hearing. Give you an example. God, this is turning into a job interview, isn't it? I'm really bigging myself up here. Oh, this is kind of what I'm going to be talking about in this recording. This is one of those real recordings, those real life. Oh, bloody! This is one of those what's actually happening right now in my life. It's not bad, but it's not. I won't be writing any romantic poetry about it, put it this way. So anyway, I remember when I was in a job in a call centre. Wonder if I could get another call centre job. I go back to being the grumpy call centre work. Maybe I could. People you'd employ yourself. Reliable call answering 24/7. Moneypenny. Wow. So if I put call centre work in my local town, call centre jobs, okay, new candidates urgently needed. There's a reason why I'm going, yeah, there's a reason for me talking about this, just to let you know. 17 call centre jobs. Wow, that was loud. I've actually got two neighbours, well, not two, one neighbour and another lady who both work from home, and they both work in call centres from home. The problem is with that for me is, in some ways, I mean, maybe I could do it, I don't know. What do I do on a day when I can't get out of bed? You know, it's one of those weird things. I can't, I don't know. But probably the only benefit, the best, for me, the best, and I would actually probably say this, the best and worst part of life, in a way, is the people. You know, but in a workplace, the people are both the worst and the best part of the job. I generally get on with most people, but sometimes, you know, it's weird. You can have 90 You can have a team of like 20 people, but if you've got one person, one difficult person, it can really dampen the atmosphere. Especially if that person's the team leader. Oh, I mean, when I was training in my last job, we were in this little training area for sales. I don't know if they used it for other departments as well, but right behind us, I think, was the finance department. And this, I guess he was the team leader or he was a supervisor, was talking to this bloke behind me like he was being very disrespectful to him, talking down to him. And it's weird because I'd only just started working there, and I was really on the edge of my seat, about to turn around and just punch that bloke. Really, it was winding me up so much. Because he just wouldn't do what he was told. Like, why couldn't he listen to his manager? Oh dear. No, I really was on the verge of turning around, telling the bloke, stop talking to him like that. Yeah, he's you might be his boss, but he's still a human being. You know? You're not his dad. Oh, you are his dad. Okay, but yeah, you're in work. It's not like you don't own the company. Oh, okay. HR? No, I don't know where that is. You want me to go there now? You'll escort me there? Okay. Bye everyone, love you. A urology nurse. I wonder what those jobs are like. Do you know jobs like medical jobs where you're dealing with a part of the body that you're just dealing with one part of the body? I can understand the brain would be, I just personally find the brain super fascinating. And the whole body is phenomenal, really. I mean, all not just humans, but all bodies, just the way the system works is, bearing in mind it's just over millions of years or whatever, it's grown and progressed and, you know, whatever. I find the word whatever really helps with moving on from stuff I don't know about. So yeah, I'm downstairs looking at this, listening for this sound, and it's vibrating the wall, and I realised, because I thought maybe it was a bird in the extractor fan. The extractor fan's been taken off, but there was like a hole in the wall. Surprisingly, quite a thick wall. I was a bit surprised about that. Thick old wall. And I did, because I've had that in mind when a bird got into the extractor fan, and so I thought maybe that's what it was. But I looked through there, couldn't see anything, and then it happened again. It was like this real buzzing sound, and I said, maybe it's my electric toothbrush. She said, do you have an electric toothbrush? I said, no, but I'd like you to think that if you ever hear anything vibrating upstairs, it's my electric toothbrush. But do you have an electric toothbrush? I said, no. I just want to let you know, if you ever hear anything vibrating, please just assume it's my electric toothbrush. She said, I wouldn't have assumed anything. Why are you even bringing that up? Why are you mentioning an electric toothbrush? I said, I don't know, hearing that vibration just reminded me, because when I hear things vibrating down here, I have to pretend that it's not an electric toothbrush. Why would you pretend it's not an electric toothbrush? Because it makes me giggle. I know you do have an electric toothbrush, and I'm just like a very, very immature. She said, I know that. Can we just try and focus on finding out where this vibration's coming from? Here's a weird thing. My friend, he was a security guard, right? And he got told off for being naughty. And, I mean, he was a middle-aged man, but he got, I don't know what he did, but he did something wrong and he got told off. And he said when the man shouted at him, his bum vibrated. He said his bum vibrated. And he said it was lovely. It's like, it was probably the weirdest conversation I'd ever had. And I never thought I'd actually share that conversation. And I don't know why today is the right day to do that. Yeah, I don't know. Just reminded me. I think you talk about vibrations. I think about that. I remember, sitting on a washing machine with my nan, talking to her while the washing machine was on its cycle. She kept falling off. Yeah, the good old days. Because the thing is, we used to do this little thing, so we'd sit on there. The tumble dryer, I mean, you had that vibration the whole time. So sometimes we'd do it with the tumble dryer. So we'd wait until the washing machine was cycling. The tumble dryer would also be going because she had quite a few washing things to do. I'd sit on one, she'd sit on the other. And what we'd do, we'd put our tea, put the milk in a tea, and we'd fill it right to the top. And we'd hold it to see who could hold it the longest before it spilt all everywhere. And I remember it went all down the blouse and down the dress. So she won. I had to get changed. So yeah, I miss those times. So, in the end, what happened is I realised the last time it vibrated, well, not the last time it vibrated, but it's definitely coming down from down there. It's coming from down there. I'm pointing down, but that doesn't really make much difference to you when you're listening, does it? But it was kind of like a kind of skirting board. Wow, can you hear that? It's a skirting board kind of thing in the bathroom, but wood. I said, I can definitely tell you it's coming from down that area. So I put my finger on it, waiting for a vibration. I said, do you want to stick your finger on it? She said, no, you're right. I said, okay. So I thought, I was so hoping that would start to vibrate. I mean, there wasn't enough room to sit on it, but I just put my finger on it because I was thinking, this will be it, and I'll be a hero. But it wasn't. What it was is we both, because we were focusing on that area, we both heard it at the same time. It's a radio. Like there was a builder's, I didn't even know builder's radios still existed. One of these big builder's radios that I suppose you could drop out a window and not hurt. And it was still turned on, but it was like that. So it was, just every now and then coming, and then, randomly. But it was right where I said, but it was in front of us. I didn't even know it was a radio. I haven't seen one of them things. I mean, I know what a builder's radio looks like. My dad had one. He was an electrician. But I haven't seen one of them for probably 30 years, 40 years, 30 years. Anyway, picked it up and looked at it. I mean, it's a modern version of the one that my dad had, but just turned it off and that was it. I mean, that's the end of that story. That's a problem, you know. Sometimes the stories are so exciting, the build-up's exciting, and it's like I don't know, some kind of suspenseful crime thriller, and then the middle part is action-packed, maybe a little bit of romance, maybe an opportunity for the characters to really take time to ponder upon life choices. And ideally some kind of climatic exit to the movie. But this didn't have that. It just had, I found the radio and I came upstairs. Turned it off, came upstairs. It's a shame. It could have been a really good story. So, Vinny's just guffed. Oh, I'm seriously, either that or they're spraying the fields. In fact, not only they're spraying the fields, either that or they've sprayed the entire garden outside, because it's really bad smelling. I hope it's him. Oh, I got the window open, so it could be coming from outside, but no, he always lays so his bum's aimed at me. He's been acting a bit strange lately. I don't quite understand why. I had a friend come round yesterday that I haven't seen for a while, and Vinny loves him, like really, really loves him. You know, he's one of the few people that he could be the other side of the field, or the other side of the park rather, or even the field if he could see him, but other side of the park, I can't see all the way to the other side of the field. And I could let him off the lead and guaranteed it wouldn't matter what else was around, he would run, he would keep running till he got to him. He's one of them people. There's a few like that he's got, that he just loves, and that's all he focuses on is that person, and he doesn't like it when they leave. So he was stuck around for about an hour and a half. We were just talking, and Vinny was sulking. We went out for a walk, so because he was going, so I took Vinny out with us. Vinny was like pulling me because he wanted to go with him, and then when I got in there, I'm just in the living room, I don't know, watching some TV, scratching my knees, I can't remember. I'm not sure if was I shaving my toes, something like that. And I thought, where's Vinny? I'm looking for him. He's not in the bedroom. Have I locked him in the kitchen? Not locked him in the kitchen. Have I closed the kitchen door? So it happens occasionally. He's sniffing around the kitchen. I close the door and I don't realise he's in there. I haven't got any locks on any of my doors, apart from the bathroom, of course, and the front door. Blimey, of course. Wow, I'd come home every day to nothing. There wouldn't even be any carpet if the doors were open. That's the kind of area I live in. And I found him. He wasn't anywhere. I thought, is he hiding? I thought maybe he'd had an accident and he was hiding because he was scared. Even though I wouldn't care anyway. It's not going to really make too much difference to the carpet. Probably brighten it up if anything. He was in the hallway in the dark because there's no lights. There's no light coming into the hallway. so I couldn't see him at first glance. And he was just laying or sitting, I think he might have been sitting in the dark near the front door. They didn't want to go out. He'd already been out, he'd already gone to the toilet, all that stuff. Okay, maybe he wanted to go. He didn't need to go out. He was pining for his friend. Uncle Eric, eh? Pining for Uncle Eric. And I was like, come on. What are you doing? So, yeah, he was, and he's been weird today. But he's been weird He's been weird. He's been strange the last few days when it comes to food. He's been really off his wet food, but he's not off food. Because I just gave him some sausages earlier, and he enjoyed them. So I don't really know what's going on. It might just be that time of year. It seems to be... I think he might be getting a little bit overheated. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I hope he's okay. I probably am a little bit of a worrier sometimes. Oh, a squeaky chair, isn't it? So that was yesterday. It was weird because Monday, I think it was Monday, or it's Saturday, I did a recording Saturday, then I was pretty busy. I didn't really get a lot done, and the boxing was on, so I watched that. Sunday, I was in bed most of the day, to be fair. I didn't have, let's call it my mojo. I've got different versions of my mojo. This is just, I guess, the energy one. So Sunday was like the Monday, I really was in that mode of no, not happening, and I couldn't really figure it out. And I suppose, I mean, building work going on, that probably wasn't ideal. Was it Monday or Tuesday the building work started? I can't remember. I think it was Monday. So, what date was Monday? The 20... April, Monday, the 28th. So the 28th, I did something on Saturday, the Let Me Bore Your Pain Away 29. I did a Q&A Friday the day before. And Monday, I couldn't do anything. And then I had a bit of energy. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. And suddenly I had a bit of energy. So I ended up doing 2 recordings. Monday's Boring Objects, and then Let Me Bore Your Pain Away. Maybe it was Tuesday when I couldn't focus. But I ended up doing... What? I did 2 on Tuesday as well, did I? That's weird. To be fair, well, whatever happened, I went to bed during the day. I woke up and I kind of felt better, so I got up and did something. But it's been a hit and miss this week. Although, I mean, blimey, I've done 2 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, 1 Wednesday, and today, which is Thursday. Though I haven't done I did Let Me Bore Your Pain Away Tuesday, and I also did Let Me Bore Your Pain Away Monday as well, and also Saturday. So I've done a few of them, so I can't, I forget how many I do sometimes, because once they're done I forget about them, as I think most people do. Oh. But yeah, okay, so that wasn't too bad, but I kind of lost it a little bit, and managed to get it back, so that's good. But then something happened today which has thrown me a little bit. Yesterday was weird. I had someone ask me for money. I had 2 people ask to borrow money yesterday, so that sets me back emotionally. It does, because that just takes me back to, reminds me of the last 10 years of being completely taken advantage of by so many different people borrowing money, not paying it back, and how upsetting that is. And it reminds me of my friend, and so I'm gonna get all heavy, but so that was quite upsetting. Not at the time, but afterwards. It was like, okay. And also, I was looking through some of the messages I've got from a particular person that's been asking for money since the summer, and some of the I can't read it. One day I will read them out. I can't now, but there's I might read them out one day, but it's just really strange how people can sometimes use manipulative tactics, like really knowing how, I don't know if it's weak or susceptible, gullible. I don't know. I'm kind of one of these people. I'm going to explain how I am now. I'm one of these people. This is what I'm like. I like to think that people are just telling me the truth. And I don't want to live a life where I'm just assuming that everyone's lying to me. Because I don't think that's it's not a nice way to be experiencing the day, I don't think. No, in reality, not everyone's telling the truth. And I mean, in these recordings, I tell a lot of porkies, but I would assume most of it's obvious that I'm not telling the truth and I'm just making stuff up. But that's the more kind of weird stuff. I've just come out of... I had that job on there, so I'll just come out of the... The internet annoys me sometimes. I nearly booked an appointment with Specsavers yesterday, but luckily I didn't, because... Okay, here's what happened. I got a letter, and straight away it was in a brown envelope, and I thought, oh no. No. Never a good sign. Never a good sign. And it was from the DWP, which is the Department of something. Welfare, Pensions, Work and Pensions. Department of Work and Pensions, DWP. And that's the department that I get my benefits from. So they are from I think July. I think it's something like the 21st or the 11th or something of July. My benefits stop, and I have to apply for a different type of benefit, which is called universal credit, because I'm still on the old benefits. And technically I was told that I would have been changed over in 2020, so it's a little bit late, so I've probably done alright, I guess. But I knew I've got a local neighbour who's also about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a couple of months ago, she had hers come through. So I kind of was expecting it, but I thought maybe, because I knew it was getting closer to the deadline of when they were going to make everyone swap over. So the difference, I'll tell you the difference just in case you're interested. Difference between UC and ESA. Okay, so difference: new style employment support allowance 2016. No, that's the one I'm on now. It was new back then. What universal credit is. This is from the citizensadvice.org.uk. So the CA, I'm sure it's called CSA, Citizens Advice Bureau. CAB used to be called, now they're calling it CA. Okay, unless this isn't the Citizens Advice Bureau, that might be a separate website. What is universal credit? This advice applies to England. So universal credit has replaced these benefits for most people. Housing benefit, so this is what it said in my letter as well. So my benefits that are going to cancel in July: housing benefit, income related employment support allowance, ESA, income based job seekers allowance, JSA, child tax credit, working tax credit, and income support. So I'm on ESA and a housing benefit. You might be able to get universal credit if you're not working or you're on a low income. Universal credit works differently from the old benefits, so it's important to know the differences. To be fair, I don't know much about the differences, so let's have a look. The biggest differences are you can get universal credit if you're unemployed, but also if you're working. Okay, I'm guessing that's based on how much you're earning. So if you're on a low wage, would that mean if you're unemployed you can still get it? You'll usually get a single payment each month rather than weekly or fortnightly. So mine's fortnightly at the moment, so it's going to end up being once a month. Instead of getting a separate housing benefit, your rent will usually be paid directly to you as part of your monthly universal credit repayment or payment. That I don't like. I'll be honest with you. I've got a few friends that have got well behind on their rent, because when you get that in your money and the bank just takes stuff out because you've got debts or whatever, and the housing benefit are pretty good, the council are pretty good. They'll really go out of their way to help. You know, they're not in the habit of just kicking people out as soon as they can. At the moment, anyway. That might change in the future. I don't know. I mean, I kind of half expect to walk out one day and there'll be a queue of people just waiting to move in, seeing if I'm breaking any rules. So I'm going to request, because I think you can, if you're no good with money, and I've proved that I'm really not very good. I'm not great with money, to be honest. I prefer the rent to go directly to the landlord rather than give me, because my rent's £104 a week, which is very low for a flat. But that's 400, I don't know how much that is a month. 500, 400 and whatever a month. 420, is it? I don't know. So you usually get one monthly payment to cover your living costs. If you claim universal credit as a couple, you and your partner will get one payment between the two of you. That doesn't seem fair. I can understand in a way. I mean, the rent's going to be the same. Like if you live in a one-bedroom flat, if I had a girlfriend here living with me, the rent's going to be the same. The council tax will be higher because I get a 25% discount or whatever because of being single person. I would then, but the bills are going to be higher, but probably not a huge amount, to be fair. But because the heating won't be any higher, the water will be a little bit higher, but there won't be a lot in it, I don't think. Food's going to be higher, I imagine, but maybe you can get away with the same amount of money for two as for one. That doesn't really make sense to me, but yeah. But it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. I just kind of doesn't seem fair that someone should get less just because they're living with someone. Anyway, that doesn't apply to me because I've even got a girlfriend. You'll usually get one payment. Okay. The payment is made up of a basic standard allowance and extra payments that might apply to you depending on the circumstances. You might be able to get extra payments if you look after one or more children, which I do not. I've got Vinny. Work and pay for childcare. No. Need help with housing costs. No, not other than the rent. Are disabled or have a health condition. I am classed as disabled due to my mental disability. Are a carer for a disabled person or have a disabled child. No. If you get help with rent, if your universal credit payment includes help with rent, I suppose that depends if you're working or not, I guess. If you're working, it wouldn't, would it, I suppose? I don't know. You'll usually need to pay your landlord each month from your universal credit payment, even if you live in social housing. See, that, I don't know. It doesn't... There might be a way around that, I don't know. I'm not sure. You can ask the DWP to pay your rent directly to your landlord if you're in debt, have rent arrears, or are struggling with money. So I will do that. I'll just say, look, nah, pay it to them. Don't be giving me £104 a week. I'll only go and spend it on chocolate. If you're working, you can work. So you can work and still get universal credit. Your universal credit will reduce gradually as you earn more. Your universal credit will go up if your job ends or you earn less. If you're self-employed, your payment might also be affected by how much the DWP expects you to earn each month. This expected... Oh, it's got to itch my eye. That's better. Oh, unfortunately I can't see the screen now. I can see the screen, just not the writing. This expected amount is called your minimum income floor. Find out how the minimum income floor works and if it applies to you. Next, claiming other benefits. If you get universal credits, you should apply for council tax reduction if you get it. it won't reduce the amount of universal credit you get. So I'm on a council tax reduction, so will that not just continue? Do they have to make things so complicated? If you're disabled, you should check if you're eligible for personal independence payments, PIP. If you're responsible for a disabled child, you should check if you can claim disability living allowance, DLA, for your child. Getting PIP or DLA won't reduce the amount of universal credits you get. They're trying to, well, the government are really trying to crack down on personal independent payments to reduce it. Like really, to get as many people off that as possible as well. You can also claim other benefits if you have enough national insurance contributions. For example, if you're unemployed, check if you can claim contribution-based job seekers allowance, JSA, also called New Style JSA. No. If you can't work because of illness or disability, check if you can claim contribution-based employment and support allowance. But that's what I'm on. So that makes no sense. They're moving me away from that. This is claiming other benefits if you get universal credit. Check if you can claim contribution-based employment and support allowance, ESA, also called New Style ESA. If you get either of these benefits, your universal credit will be reduced, but there are reasons it's still worth claiming them. For example, universal credit is paid once a month, but JSA and ESA are paid every 2 weeks. This might make it easier to manage your money. Right there, see? They know it's easier to manage money if you get paid every 2 weeks. Yet they're paying every month. Horace has just come back. Horace the pig. Oh, he's gone. He hears his name. As soon as he hears his name, he's gone. I said Horace, turned round, flapped away. Applying for New Style ESA. Check if you can claim contribution base. So changes from ESA rules from 2028. On the 18th of March 2025, the government announced changes to how some types of ESA are paid. These changes would not happen until 2028. If you're thinking of applying for New Style ESA, you should. You're more likely to get ESA if you apply before the rules change. Okay. You can get ESA at the same time as other benefits like PIP, but you can't usually get ESA at the same time as job seekers allowance or income support. If you're employed but you can't work, you usually get SSP, statutory, can't say that word, statutory. I just started coughing then. I realise, I think one of the reasons I'm coughing is because Vinny is, he's peeling, or whatever you want to call it. His hair's just coming off, they're everywhere. And I got them all over my desk. These little hairs, I think they might be getting, hello darling. I'm not saying hello to the hairs, I'm talking to Vinny. Hi Vin. Oh, okay. Anyway, so if you're employed but you can't work, you usually get statutory sick pay from your employer for 28 weeks. You can't get SSP and ESA at the same time, but you can start your ESA claim for up to 3 months before your SSP. Oh, I'm bored with that. If you've been told to claim universal credit by a certain date, Yes, I have. The Department for Work and Pensions are stopping some people's benefits and telling them to claim universal credit instead. Guilty. Guilty me. They've done it to me. If you get a letter telling you to claim universal credit by a certain deadline, this is a migration notice. It's weird that they would use a word like that. You should claim universal credit by the deadline in the migration notice. Your old benefits will stop after the deadline. You might miss out on some money if you apply after the deadline. So this is weird. So they're saying, oh, the new ESA now, and the changes won't happen to 2028, but it's only 2025 now. I think they're making it up as they go along. Check what you should do if you get a migration notice. So this is what I got today. An immigration notice. They're called legacy benefits. So university credit replacing older benefits. This is what I started on, isn't it? If your letter doesn't have a deadline, it's not a migration notice. You don't have to claim universal credit unless you want to, even if the letter says you'll have to claim universal credit in the future. Why are you begging for, Vin? You got your dinner down there, why don't you eat that? So they're basically, yeah, I've got a deadline of mine. So they've given me, what is it now? May, June, so yeah. Beginning of May, beginning of June, beginning of July. 2 months, two and a little bit months. So I filled it in today. Oh, it's weird. So I don't know how long it takes for the money to come through. That's what I'm thinking. How long have I got to go? Because when I signed on before, it took probably about 4 or 5 weeks maybe before I got anything. And then I only got very, very basic minimum. And it wasn't until yeah, it was quite a long time, quite a few months that I got paid the back payment, because the back payment was, I think, like £2,500, maybe £3,000. So it just shows you how long I was waiting. I think it was like, might be 9 months, 10 months, 9 months, I don't know. So I got that, and then it went on to its normal amount. So I don't know I don't know how it works from that perspective. So I filled the form in online. At the very end, this was very strange. It threw me off a bit. Let me see if I log into this now. Actually, I won't show it to you, but I'll read it out to you. Because I was surprised at this. Create an account. I don't want to create an account. I want to log into my account. Sign into your... Why have they got to make things difficult? That's weird. Okay, so username. What's my username? I know what it is. And please give me more money. Okay. Now that was my new. Oh, unless it's. Oh, good. Save. Confirm it's you. Oh, blimey, now I've got to go. I mean, it's good that they've got all this security stuff, but wow. Okay, what's the code? 923 7354796 Here we go. Right, we will call you. Next steps. So basically, I've got, they're not calling me now, to-do list, right? Journal. Confirm your identity. So this is the problem. Confirm your identity. And I was like, okay, how? There was no way I could confirm my identity, simply because what they were asking for I do not have. I do not have a driving license. I do not have a up-to-date passport. Last time I used a passport was over 3 years ago now, I think. I don't have any credit card stuff. I haven't got no credit cards. I don't get any bills anymore. Everything's kind of just online now. But it didn't ask for any bills. It's like, there's nothing for me to prove my ID. Yeah, I've got a council flat that I've had for 10 years, and they know who I am, and they're paying me. They've got my bank details. If that's not proof of ID, giving your bank details, and I don't know what is. Ironically, at not one point during this whole thing have they asked my national insurance number. That I found interesting, because that's a very personal thing. It's a little bit like it's like a prison number. You know, if you go into prison, you pretty much just keep the same number. Or if you however many times you go back in, it's the same number. So this is the national insurance number, is the same number always, stays the same. Mine is SEXYJYJY ### groovy fella. So that's my national insurance number, and 69 at the end. And I was like, they didn't ask for that. So I've got them down. They're going to call me, right? They're going to call me. We will call you. Calls from us may show on your phone as 0800 number, unknown number, a withheld number. If you're expecting a call from us, you should answer calls from these numbers. We will make sure that you know the call is genuine or genuine. We cannot proceed with your claim until we have confirmed your identity. We will call you in the next 2 to 3 days to arrange an interview to verify your identity. Don't be asking me to go anywhere. I didn't go anywhere. You talked to him on the phone. Check information you gave us. If you do not want to wait for a call, you can confirm your identity online. So let's click that. What does it say? Come on. Confirming your identity checks that it's really you making a claim. We will help you choose the best ways to do this. You must confirm your... If it's not me, right, they're going to put the money into my bank account. What use is it for someone else if it's going into my bank account, the same bank account? So here's what we've got. Here, right, here's the options. Pay slips. You will need at least 2 items from a list on this list to verify your identity online. Payslips. I don't have a payslip. P60. I don't even not sure what a P60 is. It's something to do with work related. A UK passport. A valid UK passport. Nope. A UK driving licence. Never driven. Self-assessment. You need your recent self-assessment returns. I don't know what that is. Credit reference, I guess that's, what's that, self-employed or something. Credit references or records. For example, information about credit cards or phone contracts. I don't have these things. I don't know what to say. I'm very flummoxed. So yeah, that's just how it is now. So I'm going to have to wait for them. How ironic would it be? Well, not probably, irony is possibly not the correct word. But if I wasn't allowed to have any help because they couldn't prove who I was. How ridiculous is that? And I could just say, well, how about I take a photocopy of every letter that you sent me in the last 10 years? I've got them all. I'll send them to you. That kind of proves that I am who I am, does it not? Anyway, other than that, everything's groovy. See if I've got any emails. Any emails? No. I'm gonna have myself a toilet and then a bowl of breakfast cereal, I think. And then, yeah, blind, it's 4:30. I've only eaten twice today. That's good, isn't it? So I had something at 6:30, probably something about 12 or 11ish. And now, well, probably it's 4:30 now, so it's probably going to be more 4:45, I'd say, before I'm actually munching away. Oh. I need to exercise my hips. I feel like I could, I tell you what could be really good. I'd like someone to do some thrusting with. Or maybe not thrusting, but do you ever see these videos on YouTube where someone's kind of pushing the person, like stretching them, but helping them stretch? That's what I kind of think I need. Someone to like hold my legs and just push back gently, and maybe push back on my hips, help me to open up a bit. So maybe not thrusting, but maybe pushing forward, and they can just push me a little bit more, just to open up the joints and stuff. I think that'd be quite cool. But everyone says no. It's getting to the point where it's becoming embarrassing being on a bus. I'm just like asking people, you'd think a bus journey would be a good place to try to meet someone that could help you with some stretching. No. Maybe a gym. I just need to find a gym that will allow me in. Here's a weird thing I nearly did. I did do. Vinny was on a chair near the bedroom window. And normally I've got the curtains drawn a little bit so we can get onto the windowsill. I cooked some sausages. He wouldn't come in here. He was like in the other room. I don't know. He had a bit of a weird mood today. So what I thought would be funny is if I held the sausage like it was part of my anatomy. So I jumped in the doorway and just wiggling about. And I forgot that the curtains were drawn. There's no net curtains. And the lady opposite was in her kitchen. It's like, oh dear. And I just jumped back and hid. Now, perhaps I shouldn't have done it and probably made it worse. But it literally was just a sausage, and I gave it to Vinny. He wouldn't. I had to like break it into little bits for him, because he's been very lazy. But yeah, that was a bit of a weird one. Not the weirdest thing that's ever happened, but yeah. I think probably the weirdest thing is when I had Andre in town, and people coming up to me, oh, he's so cute, and he was just wiggling about and all that stuff, and I was holding him, and I was kind of. This is a long time ago. It's like 9 years ago or whatever, and I was talking to this female, and she seemed to be interested, and just talking to me and getting on really well, and I'm kind of. I don't know, not showing off, but trying to be interested, maybe. I don't know if that's possible. And thinking, well, this is going quite well. And she starts laughing. She's laughing at my jokes, and she's laughing, really laughing at this point. And I'm thinking, wow, this is going really well. And then other people start laughing, and I'm thinking, blimey, this is going really well. And then I noticed people behind me were laughing, and other people at the side of me were like, I looked down, because they were pointing. Vinny had pooed all down my top and onto my trousers. Not Vinny, Andre, sorry, not Vinny. Andre pretty much, and weed, and he wanted to go to a toilet, but I was holding on to him. Didn't realise he needed a toilet, and he just let go all over me. And I was actually with someone, so I was with a woman as well. She thought it was hilarious also. But apparently she didn't want a second date. It was weird. I still can't find it funny even now. It was horrible. It was in the middle of town. I had no change of clothes. And I did go into a public toilet to try and wash myself off. But then it just looked like I'd wet myself after that, because everything was wet. So it looked like yeah, it was a weird one. But it wasn't Andre's fault. It was me. I wasn't reading what he needed. But then he was wiggling about anyway. But he kept trying to get down, and in the end because the thing with ferrets is when they need to go, they need to go. They don't, like Vinny will spend 10, 15, 20 minutes looking for somewhere to go to the toilet. Andre, they get a 5-second notice, maybe. 10 seconds sometimes even 2 seconds. It's a really short notice, need to go now. Andre, Vinny's kind of he'll spend a good 20 minutes walking up and down the grass, finding the correct place. Andre, he'd go in the right place if he could, but if he couldn't always get to where the paper was, especially if he was on the roof sunbathing. But he'd just do it down the chimney, so it's all right. I was thinking about that, sending kids up chimneys. I was just thinking about that the other day. Because a lot of kids want to do what their parents do, don't they? Oh, can I do it? No, you can't, you're too young. So I'm guessing when parents were cleaning out the chimneys, the little kids were saying, oh, can I help? Can I help? Not realising it was going to lead to a career. But oh, can I help? Also probably not realising that they were going to be sent up the chimney. Because, when they said, can I help? They probably thought, can I just hold the big stick and get dirty? They didn't think that they were going to be put on the end of a stick and shoved up the chimney. So yeah, I suppose it was wearing a little brush on a hat with a brush on. They are kind of like really, really tall toilet brushes, aren't they? We've still got chimneys here. It's weird, there's a chimney over the road. Literally, on that block over there, there's a chimney. Now, there's 100% no fireplace in there at all. So why is there a chimney? I've got no idea. Unless... I'm going to look. This is going to bug me now if I don't look. Yeah, it's definitely a chimney. There's a chimney on a building that's just studio flats. There's no open fires. Maybe, I guess there used to be. But would there have been in 1978 when these buildings were built? I don't imagine there'd have been open fires back then. It would have been more just central heating. I didn't know. Huh. But it's definitely a fire, like a chimney on top. I guess it's just blocked. I mean, when we moved into the family house in about 1979, was it? There was a chimney in the living room and the bedroom upstairs, which was their parents' bedroom. So there was a chimney. I think they blocked the one in the bedroom. There might have even been one in the other one, which would also be the room next to it as well. But we had the chimney in the living room. The chimney. We had the fireplace, the open fireplace, actually active in the winter and stuff. I just love it. Love the open fire. It was lovely. Yeah. I did. I'm just wondering if we had one in the other room. I think it was just one room. But it was really nice. It was just really comfy, cozy, smoky, stuffy, but it was nice. I don't know if they got outlawed. I don't know if we had to stop using them. Because when I used to go to Nottingham, I had this friend that lived there, and he had like everywhere, because of coaling, like a mining village, and everyone had these wood burners in these places, and well, coal as well. But they'd have these things that would be on all day long, and I think it was quite nice. Like, yeah, it was such a lovely house. Vinny, I don't know what you want. Right, I better go. So yeah, that's just basically what's happening. That's the update. I had this little thing I played with. I thought, okay, I should reword that. I had this idea. Maybe just come off the benefits and just say, I need to have enough money coming in to pay everything, and just put it to the universe, just like put it out there and say, this is what I need to pay my rent, need to eat, need to pay the bills, and in return I will make regular recordings. But I don't know. I'm not sure if the universe is listening all the time. I like to think it is. That is one of the rules of the secret, one of the rules of the manifestation thing is, or the Think and Grow Rich, which is where all that stuff kind of comes from. Stop squeaking. The idea is you do something, you cut all the you basically cut the ties, not ties from people, but you stop being able to go back. So it'd be the same as, you know, you go somewhere and you can't return. You have to keep going regardless. And stopping my benefits or not renewing them would be like that. So, sink or swim sort of situation. I don't know. I had a thought about it. I'd definitely feel a lot better about myself if I was able to pay my own way and, you know, do it, you know, by doing this. But I don't know. He's hassling me. I'm pretty sure he didn't used to be like this. He's now begging. Are you hungry? Stick your tongue out if you're hungry. Do you want some food? He's turning his head from side to side. He's so cute. Do you want some food, Vinny? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Noodles? Archie? See, they're the two. If I say Archie or noodles, what about Uncle Eric? Uncle Eric? Uncle... Who else? Who? Pygmy? No, wasn't interested in that one. Uncle Alex? Uncle Eric? Archie? Noodles? Yeah, he does. He turns his head a bit more for those. Hey. Go away. Go away. You are so cute, Vinny. Although he's a proper snorer, Vinny is. Snores a lot, don't you? Do you want to go in the garden and do wee-wees? Well, we haven't been out, have we, since... Okay, let's do that. Right, well, thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. And be gentle with yourself, because you deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye. Should we go in the garden and do wee-wees? Do you want to do a wee-wee as well? Come on, let's go and do a wee-wee. Come on. Let's do wee-wees. And they've cut the grass out there, which means we'll be able to see all the other dog poo out there as well. Brilliant.